Well, guys, we're back. I just wanted to come back to say goodbye. Um, we're about done anyways, right at 2 hours. So if you guys pop back in here, hopefully you see it. Hey, somebody's here. Had a power surge or outage. Everything went down for a second. We were down for about 5 seconds and boom. And I could see all you guys typing and everything. It just wouldn't go. So just wanted to kind of wrap it up. I hope a few people pop back in here and just waiting for everybody that was in the last one to pop back in here. We've had some weather and winds and snow and must have lost something around here. Maybe a branch went down or something. But power went down, came right back up, but it knocked the computer out. Computer came right back up and everything seemed fine, but obviously it wasn't. So I don't even know if you guys could see what I was typing, but just gonna wait and see if a few more people pop in here, and we'll wrap things up. Because the stream was like 2 hours already. Usually takes a few minutes when there's no announcement. People go back in and then they find it again. Watch Joel pop in here. There he is. There's Chris H. If you didn't hear what I was talking about, lost power for a second. It's flashed and I don't know, was out a couple of seconds and came back up and I could see the stream was running. The timer was going. You guys were all in it. I could see you typing. And who was it? Somebody said, there goes Rock's Wi-Fi again. No, the Wi-Fi has been awesome. I think. I think it's been looking good for you guys. I haven't had any calls really. But get nuked. It was here. It was just power here. Went down for a minute. Here's what we got to do a video on. This is what we got to do a video on, boys and girls. Anybody know what that is? You'll know by the rim, right? That, my fine sirs, is Czechoslovakian silver tip in 762 by 54R. And we have to do some Mosin Nagant videos. That's what we got to do. I keep threatening, haven't done any. This stuff is so damn accurate, it's ridiculous. Good stuff. But gonna have to get those out. That's God, that could take up I don't know how many videos. But for the few people that are in there, yeah, that's a Mosin round. You must have seen them or you wouldn't know what it is, but yeah, that's a big round, ain't it? I mean, it's the Russian equivalent of 30-06, except the bullet's so much. Look at how long that bullet is. I mean, Christ, that thing's, that thing's huge. And man, I love shooting these out of the carbines, the fireballs, right around dusk. You get a good 3-4 foot fireball rolling. And so much fun. Love shooting it. We could do a lot of videos on Mosin Nagants, and we will. I stopped on the way. Well, I was gonna stop at the FFL tonight on the way home, and just traffic was so bad and everything. I thought, I'm not gonna do it. I almost headed that way 3 times, and my thought was I was gonna grab an MP5 tonight. And that's kind of what I've had on my mind as the next one. So kind of glad I didn't stop in a way because there's so damn much money. But yeah, thinking about that. I don't know. I got that on the brain. But then there's some other good stuff too. We could use a Polish I'd love to find an Arsenal Sam 7 underfolder. There's just a lot of stuff. And I could probably get 2 for 1 for the price of that MP5 for an HK. But you know what? For as much as those guns are, they are. I think you'll see them double in price in the next couple of years. I think you'll be looking at a $6,000 gun pretty quickly. So it's buy it now or never. So I don't know. Yeah, I just brought the stream back up to kind of wrap it up. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging there. It was just a power outage for like 3 seconds and came back up. Everything flashed and beeped and then beeped again and came back up. I could see all you guys, see you typing everything, and but you guys couldn't see me. It wouldn't restart. Maybe it would have restarted it if I waited a while longer, but then I hit the refresh button and that canceled it. So I figured, what the hell? I used to see Mosins on sale at Big Five for $2.99. I used to see them. Well, Big Five was later. We had a Big Five here for a while, but they were, what was the name of the place? It was a sporting goods store, started with an M, not Maury's, MC Sports. And they were $69. I told you guys that last week, but I won't rub it in. Yeah, $69 for like 2 years. They were that. When they went to $99, I said, screw off. I'm never buying another one. The bastard's $99. I bought a bunch more at $99. And then after that, that was it. I had so many retarded amounts. But I was done with them then. So Orion says, funny you were talking about your AR go-to rifle tonight. I just recently finished mine as well. Need a better white light, but that's it. Yeah, I bought a Streamlight. It was like a sale bin one. It was the last one they had left. And I knew I probably wouldn't be happy with it, but I thought I'll find something to use it on. It's only like, it's their cheapy one. Came with the light, standard end cap, the cap with the cord and the tape, and the thing to mount it on the rail and all, a battery, all the whole kit for under $100, but it's only like 300 or 400 lumens. So, you know, for in the house, I guess it'd be fine. But for this, I'll move it to another rifle. But for this rifle, I want better. And I really like those. What's the light I've been using on my Scorpions? Not an Olight. It's got the angled cap on it, push button. There, a lot of guys think they're cheap, or they call them, that's the light for pores or whatever. But I've got 3 of them, and I use them, and they work fabulously. You know, I haven't bounced them off the ground or had them for 5 years or anything, but they seem to do just great. And I love how they mount. I love the angle of the cap, because you don't need a tape. I hate having tape and wires and all that crap. So that's why I like them. But the way the Streamlight's mounted on this go-to AR, when I have the vertical grip with my thumb, I have it mounted on the right side, and my thumb reaches the cap perfectly to turn it on and off. So I don't need the tape and the wire. Matter of fact, I just have it here. Here's the parts to it. These are the things they give you to mount to the pick rail, which are kind of ingenious, actually, how they work. They're plastic or rubber, but they seem like they'd work fine. Here's what they give you, I guess, to glue it down to the rail using it. And those little pick rail things. I'll show you how it works. If you guys have never seen one, it's kind of cool. So here's the end cap for the Streamlight, right? You replace the standard cap. It's got the wire, and then the tape's the switch, right? So this is the momentary. Anywhere on here you can press. And here's the on off. And how these work, there's two of these things, and you attach them to your rail, and then the light slides into, or the tape slides in like so. And you got one, it stops there. So you got on this end, you got on this end, and they fit perfectly to your rail at that spacing. And then there's this little screw hole here. Comes with little screws you run through it to hold it in place. So it holds itself to the rail with these and the double stick. And to me, it looks like it will mount great. So, and it's not too long, so I don't mind it. I think it'll be okay. Maybe I will go to this, but definitely need a better light. The lumens just aren't enough on it. And that's that. But even came with 2 batteries and a bunch of zip ties to tie it down. And looks like a bunch of the parts fell out under here. I got to get it all back together here. But yeah, neat little kit. It's just, I wish it was higher lumens. And, the streamlights aren't bad. I haven't heard about too many of them going out, but yeah, might as well. Might as well try it. But I like those other ones. So maybe we'll go to that. But I do want the best of the best. So I might go to not a Streamlight. What's the other one? The Top Notch brand. Might go to one of those just because I want the best of everything on this rifle. And that's pretty much what it is. Take care, Joe. Have a good night. I've always wanted a Mosin, but can't find one anymore. Jeez, you can't find a Mosin? That's like, that doesn't seem right. Dude, they were everywhere. Everywhere you looked. Every sporting goods store, everybody had them from 69, 99, then they were 150, 200. I mean, Christ, when they went to $180, I tripled my money. Ah, too funny. Yeah, I can't think of the name. I swear to God, the older I get, I can't, things don't pop in my head as quick anymore. But yeah, I'm really liking that AR a ton. Just really cool. Looking forward to this 39 project. Somebody mentioned the 1301 shotgun. I really want to get that out and have a slugfest with that. So much I want to do. Just the days are so short. That's the problem. What would normally give me another 4 hours at the range now it's dark at 4:30. And at 4 o'clock it's too dark to film. You'll see in the video I drop tomorrow. The camera, of course, works so well at picking up the light that the video looks absolutely perfect. But in reality, it's so dark. If I drop this round on the ground in front of me, I couldn't find it. But looking in the camera, you think it's broad daylight. So in the video I'm dropping tomorrow, I finally figured out I dropped the camera settings down to normal, and it shows how, for 10 seconds, I show you how dark it really was there when I was the end there shooting. And you guys will be shocked. You'll be like, wait a minute. With yeah, wait till you see. You'll be like, oh my God. And I'm not going to tell you what rifle did it either. It just blew my mind. I mean, it really amazing. But a lot of the videos you watch, some of the footage is shot when it's that dark, but it looks perfectly light in the camera. So it's deceiving. And I often think people don't believe me when I tell them it's getting dark. They might think it's dusk. No, it's getting dark, dark. And that just sucks this time of year because I'll stay out till 9 o'clock, uh, doing videos and shooting and testing. And to lose that pretty much almost pushing 5 hours really cuts in because, my range days also are family days and do things around the house days and all of that. So this time of year, it just gets harder and harder. Hey, Vanessa Kitty's in here. You climbed in at the end. I only came back on because we lost power here at the house and everything went down. So I just cranked it back up here just to kind of say goodnight. But he'll probably end up being whatever, another 15, 20 minutes. Um, some of you guys may know because you were in here the other night, but last week's, I think I set a new record. It went 4 hours. I don't even know what I was talking about, but it was good. We answered questions all night. Um, we talked about what you guys wanted to talk about. And I hope you guys like it. I hope you're not bored. I hope you don't turn it on and go, oh, geez, what the hell is he babbling about? I hope I keep your attention, in other words. Um, and I try not to tell the same old stories, but um, I had a thought the other day, and I'd run this by a few of you guys here and tell me what you think. I was listening to a podcast. It's the Vortex podcast, Vortex Scopes. If you haven't listened to it or come across it, find it and watch it. It's really good. It's got a couple guys that work for Vortex do it, and they'll have some guests on, and it's anything from cleaning guns to scopes to what kind of scope to pick for this particular rifle. And they really shed a lot of light on optics for one, because that's the business they're in, but stuff that me and you or most people just don't normally know or don't pick up, or there's just not a lot of information out there, or the average shooter who hasn't been trained formally as like a sniper or in optics in general, you just don't know that information, and it's not out there. And what is out there may or may not be reliable. And so they go through a ton of stuff. You'll learn that a lot of the tales you hear just aren't true. And today the whole optic game is changing. Where it used to be, the standard rule was you spent double on the glass that you spent on the rifle. Well, that just isn't true anymore. You know, optics have gotten so good, and manufacturing process is so much better, and they can manufacture a much, much better grade of product quicker and cheaper. So you don't have to spend what you used to spend. Now, that being said, top of the line is still going to be a lot of money. I mean, you want to buy a Leopold Mark V, which, that's scope the military uses. That's a great scope. Well, that's a $2,000 scope. That's a lot of money to anybody. That's a lot of money to me, but I'd think about it. I don't see it as that out of line. And I'm actually considering one for my bolt gun, either that or a Night Force. I don't know what to do. I haven't made a decision yet. I'm going to do a little more research, and we'll see what we end up with. That being said, though, these Vortex guys brought up a lot of good things that most people overscope their guns, whether it be a hunting gun, a precision gun, AR, or whatever. They'll ask them, like at a trade show, well, how many yards do you normally shoot? Well, the most I've ever shot is 200. Well, then why do you want a 35 power scope? They call it FOMO. FOMO is the acronym, fear of missing out. So, the average guy says, well, my buddy's got a 10 by 35, or my buddy's got a 6 by 25. I guess I need one, and I can see that much better, and I'll be able to shoot that much better, and my groups will be that much better. When in reality, if you're only shooting 200 yards, you can get by with a 10 power scope really well if you're doing all the basics well, and you're practicing just a little bit. You'll be just fine. Guys put guys put a crazy, 10 by 25 scope on a hunting gun that they're taking out for elk. Well, are you shooting across a canyon, 3/4 of a mile? No, you're not. You don't need that scope. So for precision scope that, really with any type of regularity, or where I can say I've done it often as opposed to once or twice, I've shot 300 awesome, often. Um, Anything over 300, I've shot very seldom and only a couple times, 500, 1,000, just once or twice. There's just not the opportunity to do it. Now, I go down south and I know plenty of farmers and all where there's more than 1,000 yards I could shoot and shoot safely. But either I just haven't asked, or you don't know how they'd feel about it, or I don't know. But I'm sure I could, no problem. I'm afraid, I guess, if they allowed me to, and I went out and did it, that I couldn't make it a regular. I'd like it so much, and then I couldn't make it a regular thing. So it's almost better not to do it than to do it. Anyhow, this Vortex podcast, just really good. So if you get a chance, listen to it. But they had Jerry Micklick on there as a guest, and if everybody knows him, but if you've ever listened to an interview with him, he's just an old Southern good old boy, grew up in a rural area, probably not a lot of money, and they do things like rural people, farmers do. He tells a story about welding a Bronco together with coat hangers, welding using the coat hangers as rods, and these are young guys that haven't heard stories like this. He talks about. He goes, "Well, yeah, I used that gun. I probably shot that gun underwater more than I shot it above water." They were talking about shooting these big garfish, and Jerry says these things so matter of factly, like, and doesn't everybody do stuff like that? And these guys find it hilarious, and it is hilarious. He goes, well, one day we got to the boat launch and we were pulling the airboat out, and next thing you know, we were going down the highway at 60 miles an hour. He says the funny thing was the airboat was doing the pushing. They passed some guy at 60 with the airboat pushing the car, and just these funny stories. And he talks about like welding that car, or building a bullet trap, or testing loads because they'd buy the cheapest powder at the gun shop that no one else would buy, and they didn't even know what it was. And the guy's like, well, how'd you test it? How'd you figure out your loads? He goes, started with a little bit and went till it blew up the gun or blew off someone's arm or whatever. Not that bad, but you get what I'm talking about. These guys were just incredulous that that's really, you did stuff like that. So I got to thinking, and I'm like, well, that's kind of how I grew up. You made things, you built things. If you needed something and you couldn't get it, you made it. And you you get to my age when you start getting the gray hair, and you think, I got all this knowledge about all these different subjects and things. And the same thing. I'll tell a story to my kids' friends or something, and they're like on the edge of their seat, like, oh my God, you can do that? No, is that cool? I'd like to. How do you do that? And um, they asked Jerry how he learned how to do all this stuff and how they came up with this. And he said, well, he goes, I never was one to, hang with the local dummy crowd or whatever. He goes, I spent most of my time with a lot of gray haired guys. He goes, because those were the guys that had the information, that had done it, that knew how to do it, that in fact knew how to do things outside the box, that if they didn't pass the information on, some of it, not all of it, but some of it might be lost forever. And the more I think about it, the more he's right. There's a lot of things that I take for granted that I know how to do and do. And I'll be doing one of those things, let's say in the garage or whatever. And one of the kids' friends would come by, and I turn around, they're staring at me, watching what I'm doing. And they're like, "What are you doing?" They're like, "This." And it's like, "Oh my God." Next thing you know, there's a crowd of kids, And I thought about either a video series or maybe a channel and call it What Gray Haired Guys Know. And just have some of these stories and guests and different things about what you can do with the weirdest things or simplest things or fixes that we know about. Back in our day, you didn't replace things, you rebuilt them. Today, you'd be hard pressed to find a guy that knows how to rebuild a carburetor, let alone or what a carburetor is, or even alternators, starters. You rebuilt them. You didn't get new ones. And radiators, if it sprung a leak, you brazed a hole with a hanger, like they said. Different stuff and that's just the obvious things. There's much crazier, funnier stories, but um, some of them would be such great topics, and I think people would really find it not only entertaining but educational and hilarious at the same time. Some of the stuff that we did that we thought, no big deal, but it's when you really think about it, it was friggin' hilarious. Just thought it was a cool thing, and they were almost talking about reloading like that. These young guys, he goes, yeah, we thought about reloading, but and you wonder how at some point does that just go away? It's not a huge endeavor now, I don't think. Although it's there, but mostly in rural stores is where you'll find it, stuff like that. Um, you know, my grandfather used to tell me about they could go down to the hardware store and buy dynamite and blasting caps, and stuff like that. So, yeah, for any of you young guys, listen to the guys with gray hair. Um, they probably did things that back then were legal and today aren't, and things that, uh, maybe you can't even get the product anymore because, he was talking about. You ever hard cast, or did you ever heat treat a brass bullet? And they're like, no. He's like, well, you could fire that damn thing at a cement wall and it'll bust through 4 inches of concrete and drop out and not even be. It's like, how did he find that out? Just one day the idea popped in his head and he tried it. Stuff like that. Um, just cool. So, anyhow, just an idea I had. And I thought it'd be cool if you guys too had any stories or things that you did or made or how you use something that may not be the most common knowledge. It'd be cool to share them even on this podcast, and talk about them. It'd be kind of cool. Uh, can't think of it. Local gun store that I go to here in, is it Napa? Has couple Mosins. You just got to watch for them around here because it definitely isn't what it used to be. Yeah, most of that stuff is hoarded up already. You'll come across them. If you want one, go on Gun Broker. You'll find a million of them. Grab one. But they pop up here and there. Stop in every local gun shop you can find. You'll find one. Ask. If you don't see it, ask them. Hey, you guys wouldn't have any Mosins in the back room for sale, would you? I'll bet you there's so many of them laying around. Some guy will say, yeah, hell yeah, I'll sell you one. You know. Uh, Save the bees. You stopped in. You got here after our power outage, and this is kind of the end of it. But good to have you. Um, I got that Norinco SKS I told you guys about with the fiberglass stock. Cool. So it's a jungle stock, I take it. Orangish color, I hope. Sounds like you're happy about it. Save the bees. Yeah. He was psyched about it last week. Always had more older friends. Yep. Yeah, they used you for a guinea pig, you know? Hey, if you made it to having gray hair and you got all 10 digits and 10 toes, you're doing good. Uh, the Mosen squad. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, including your old man, right? I remember marveling at the stuff my grandfather could do, you know, without a book, without anything. Sounds like a good idea. Only problem is it will be a bunch of us gray hairs watching. Yeah, right. You'd have to get it. You get you got to listen to ones with Jerry Micklick on there. Go to that Vortex podcast. You will laugh out loud. It's that good. And the young guys doing it are that good. They make it funny. It's some outstanding entertainment. I listened to it the last couple of days going to work. Really good. Man, what an entertaining guy. He could have a TV series. He really could. It's awesome. A lot of old timers liquidating their collections. Yeah, always. You know, these guys die, the wives, kids, they end up, sometimes they sell it off cheap. You never know. Got to ask around. That's all. You'll find some. There's tons of Mosens out there. There were, I bet, millions of them brought into this country, literally. Um, Tons of them. Tons of them. Um, Check out a website called the Mosin Crate, MOSINCRATE. He's got a website, and it's not always got stuff for sale on it. He gets like a lot of a certain gun, like 10 to a lot. Uh, by lot, I mean a grouping. Um, and when he does, then he goes live, not live, but he posts, look, we're going to have bid day, or you get to call in that morning starting at 10 a.m., whatever, and he'll announce that date and time. He'll show the things on there for a few days before, and then you start dialing at 9 a.m. or whatever. And if you're the first 10 to get through, you get a gun. Not a lot of people know about it, and he's got a lot of neat milsurp stuff. And obviously, you got to start with Mosins back in the day, but he'll have Makarovs and different stuff. You name it. You can go on his website and see previous sales. I got my Bulgarian Makarov that way. He's got nice stuff, and he comes across small lots of different models, makes, whatever, and puts them up there. Uh, Got an internet. Okay, I don't recommend his junk. Mine was absolutely unissued mint, and it was cheap, as cheap as I could have got it anywhere. It wasn't a bad deal. And he shipped fast, everything. I can't, I'm not going to say I don't know if he's good or bad. All I can talk about is my experience, and it was only the one time. So I don't know. Uh, I've seen two here locally, one that's been sported, and the other was Chinese, made in the 50s, 900. Yeah, Chinese are rare. Most of them are piles of garbage for the most part that I've ever come across, and guys want way too much money for them. You can still find them for 200 bucks. You go to gun shows, there'll be tons at gun shows, but negotiate. You can get a really nice one between 200 and 300 bucks. I wouldn't pay. Uh, God, I think I sold X snipers not all that long ago for 300 bucks. Um, yeah, they're out there. There's deals. Don't I still think you can get a nice shooter, nice bore, nice everything for 200 bucks. I would think. As long as it's nothing special, but just a wartime, let's say 43, 44 round receiver, 9130, no problem. They're a dime a dozen. Don't let them make you think they're super rare or something. Uh, Yeah, 900 for a Chinese. It better be really. It better be mint. I don't know. I remember when you could get a sniper with bent bolt and a scope and everything for less than that. Oh God. I wonder if our gun still has some laying around. They might. Um, I don't know. When I run across them, it usually seems you'll see 3, 4, 5, 6 at a crack. But nice stuff. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to come back in here and say goodnight. I hate it cutting off like that. But we've been 2.5 hours now. Unless you guys got any questions or anything, we'll say goodnight. We'll go out and load a few rounds, get ready for tomorrow, and we'll be shooting and I'll be dropping that video. So you'll get to see part of it, the commercial testing, and then we're shooting some custom rounds tomorrow. And I definitely got to get on the horn with Fred and see what he's up to so we can put this stuff together and get it out to you. And while I'm excited for it, I want to get through it because there's a lot to do on it, and I got so much more I want to do as well. So until next Tuesday, take care. You'll have at least one video this week till between now and next Tuesday. And yeah, um, maybe I'll come up with a Christmas list of goodies I think every good gun guy should have for next week. And we'll go from there. Last time I was at Our Guns, No Mosins, a year ago, they did really. Were they nice, the K98s, or were they Russian captures or something? I've back then when I was down there, I drove past the place once or twice, but I don't think I ever went in. They're what, like Carpentersville maybe or something? And I remember them having a big sign in the window or something. I don't know. Is it a neat place to go to? Is there a lot to look at or no? I'd drive down if it was a cool place to look at. And what were they asking for the K98s? I would be interested in a Mauser. I have one, but why not? I wish I didn't have one. We'll do. Let's concern about stamping because I am more. Yeah, you just want a nice one to shoot. That's all, and you should be able to do that for $200, no problem. Anyhow, guys and gals, thanks for everything. Let's see. Oh, expensive as all get out. Yeah, Seville, yes, and very cool. So it is cool. Okay, they probably got a lot of other milsurp, not milsurp, but well, that too. But I always visualized it as having like sort of an army surplus store feel to it as well. But I have some slight recommendation of being in there and looking at something in these glass cases or something. Maybe I have been in there. I don't know. I know they had a bunch of Yugo AK bayonets fairly cheap. And I always meant to get another one or two. I think I have been there maybe once, but I think maybe in a rush or because I was just running through and didn't get a chance to really look. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But what's expensive is all get out. Like 1,200, 1,500, $2,000, what? I don't know. What's expensive for a Mauser these days? And were they German marked or were they Russian capture? Or, I mean, if it's a nice, decent gun, I don't know what they go for these days. I gotta think there's much or more than a grand. And what can you touch a grand for today? Unless you get it from CMP, I don't think you'll touch one much under $1,500 for anything. I don't know. I don't know. All righty. Well, that's about it, guys. Look forward to the video sometime tomorrow. And if I can get you more, I'll get you more. Uh, like I said, finally feeling better. So uh, you'll see more. That's all I can tell you. Thanks for everything. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching our videos. Always, please try and like, subscribe, and please try and share them with friends, other people that you know are into them, and grow the community. And hey, the more people, the more fun we can have, right? So, yeah, thanks again. As always, Rockford Ordnance out.